Right. So in the middle of this horrible pandemic, and a lot of people have asked me to post some videos about sourdough and bread making. So I'm nowhere near a professional baker or even that good at baking sourdough, to be honest. So all I could do is just show you what I do, and hopefully that'll be enough to encourage people to have a go as well. What do you think, Martha?
No.
I think that's a yes. So the first video will be all about this, which is the starter. The starter is like a fermented mix of water and some strong flour. I've got strong wholemeal flour in here, which is this one, which is the one bag that I managed to get from Waitrose the other day. And I am running out, so I'm going to need some more soon. You can get this stuff from Waitrose as well. Oh, look, actually this is another bag. So this is Canadian very strong wholemeal bread flour. So the more wholemeal it is, it's better for the for a starter, because it will encourage the bacteria to develop. So this is a jar which I fed this morning. Feeding the starter means putting more flour and water in, basically. So this is one that I fed this morning, and I need to now give this another feed. So it's a bit dirty, this jar, but there's about that much in there. So what I do is I have a discard jar as well, which I use to put the discarded starter from this jar into here. Stop giggling. So we start by opening the discard jar. Tell you what I'm going to do now. So I've got this special thing, you see, so I'm going to put this down like that now.
Well, before you said that, quite funny.
Yeah, just smashed on the thing. Now I don't know if you can see that now. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's move a bit forward.
Have to move it a bit like that, don't we? Oh, look at
The
that.
camera a bit more.
No, just leave it, Alice. So what we're going to do
I'll keep it there.
is we're going to take some of this.
You can't see that.
And we're going to put it in there like that. Now, you can end up, if you're feeding your starter regularly, like twice a day to get it going, then you're going to end up with a lot of this discard stuff. But you don't waste it. So you can, in another video, we'll talk about how you can use this excess starter to make pancakes and flatbreads and many other things. So that's the starter, the discard anyway. So now we're going to feed the main starter.
Hello. Hello.
Stop it.
Oh, that's
Martha.
shit.
I'm going to say hello. It'd be nice to say hello to people.
So here we go. I need to move this a little bit.
I thought I just said you were listening to me.
It's because the camera's there, isn't it? Right, that'll do. So what we do is we get our strong wholemeal flour
I want to do it.
and we put a couple of spoonfuls in there. Why don't you put that one in, Mark? Very good. And we want it to be consistency of sort of thick paint. So I'm just going to add a little drop of water and then mix that up.
Mix, mix, mix. I see it.
That's quite thick. So we add a bit more, just a little bit. And you want to keep it sort of room temperature. I don't know, I can't remember exactly what the exact temperature is that you're supposed to keep it in. But if you've got a cold house, a good tip is to put the starter in the oven, not with the heat on, but with just the light on. So, you know, if you've got a light on your oven, just leave that on. And the temperature from the little bulb will keep the inside of the oven at just the right temperature to get this going. Temperature here at the moment is pretty good, so you can generally just leave this out.
Yeah, it's quite hot, isn't it? Oh, we're not allowed to talk. Sorry.
So put that on, and then that can go. Let's put this back now.
I can't
Why did you make that sound?
There's Martha.
It's been 5 minutes already.
5 minutes, bloody hell. So this goes up here now, and then we're gonna have a little chat about some other things. So really, you can't really start making the bread until your starter is nice and active, and that's not going to happen for a little while. It can take up to a couple of weeks, to be honest. So it might be a good idea to try and get some starter from somewhere else. So you can buy it online. If you're local to me, I can give you some. So just bring a jar, knock on the door, I'll fill it up and then throw it at you, so that we're self-isolating and keeping our distance and all that. Yeah, or you can do a drive-by. So,
Drive-through.
Yeah,
Through the garage.
drive-through starter distribution centre.
That'd be quite funny.
So other things that you'll need to get. This is good. This is for chopping your dough and separating it. That's actually really useful. You might have one of those lying
I
around.
used that earlier.
You need
These things, these batons. This is one that's new that hasn't been used yet.
No.
Sometimes you can find these in charity shops, and they're used just as basket things. But if you see them, pick one up because they're really good. So this is what you keep your dough in when it's proofing. So here's one that is used for baking, and you notice it's covered in flour. Now that is a gluten-free flour. I usually use rice flour, but this is just plain white, but it's gluten-free, and it's important that it's gluten-free so that it's non-stick. So if you put dough in there and you've got gluten flour in there, the gluten flour will just connect with the gluten, in the dough, and then you'll never get it. You'll just be stuck. So you coat it with rice flour or other gluten-free flour, and the important thing about these things as well is never wash them out. When you first get your dough out and it looks a little bit sort of damp and sticky and stuff, don't worry about it. Just let it dry. Brush out the hard bits, but never ever wash them because they'll just go mouldy. Is that alright, Alice? Do you understand? What else do you need? So you need a little brush for brushing your flour onto your batons and stuff. You need some little razor blades. I can't remember the name.
Sharp, don't touch them. Don't touch them. Once they cut my finger.
For scoring the dough once it's all proofed and ready to go. And you score the dough so that you can control how it expands and give it that nice split. And sometimes people call it an ear, where the crust goes up and all that stuff. I'm not that too bothered about making them look pretty as long as they're good enough to eat. Other things that you need. Where's the baguette thing? This is wet, needs a wash, but this is a good baguette. This is what you do your baguettes in, and they're really easy. So we'll do a video where we make baguettes to show you how easy that is.
This morning.
Yep.
Because I made buns and 2 baguettes this morning. Because we're going to have burgers.
This is your Dutch oven.
And you decided to buy all of this stuff.
Now, this is a cast iron Dutch oven, and some people, think that they put the dough in that way, which you have to do on some of them because of the lid. But this has got like a flat lid, so actually you can bang your dough in that way and then put the top on it, and that will stop you from getting burnt because the oven is very, very hot. Something else to get. some hardcore oven gloves. So if you need starter and you're local to me, let me know and we'll sort it out. You can just drive round and we'll just sort it out, but put it on the step or whatever it is we need to do at this time. But you can get it online. I've also been drying out starter, so if you spread it out on some parchment and let it dry, you can then crunch it, and it just turns into hard powder basically, and like hard flakes. So that will last for ages then. Oh, and also if you don't want to feed your starter every day, because you're not baking for a while, just pop it in the fridge and it will stay happily in the fridge for like a week or so. And that's it for now. So yeah, so the first thing to do is get going on the starter. You need to get an active starter before you can start making dough. So if you're interested and you want to give it a go, that's the place to start. Bye everyone, like and subscribe.